Hello and welcome back for another Midweek Magic event. This week we are doing the Phantom Gold Sealed event. We'll be opening up 12 boosters and making a 40 card deck. So let's go ahead and open up our packs and see what we get. Right, first I like to look at each individual color just to see how many cards of that color we have and note any powerful cards. Here I see Virtue of Loyalty. This card is fantastic. If left unchecked, it can dominate a game by itself. Jill has seen some play in decks. Demonic Council. We do have a couple demons here. Virtue of Persistence is good. Beseech, Preacher. Black is looking pretty strong. Arden. What do we have for red cards here? House Squad, Krenko, both very aggressive cards. Fire Crystal also gives creatures haste. Could make a nice aggro deck potentially. For green cards, not the best. Colorless. Ultima is not fantastic unless it's in a dedicated strategy. Having our lands lose the ability to add colored mana could stifle playing our normal cards. And what do we have for dual colors? Kaito, dominating Planeswalker, very hard to deal with. Siege could be powerful if we get a lot of cards with triggered abilities. Could also just help gum up the board. Gear Hulk, I don't think I saw too many 1-drops, so that one probably won't get to play. Alright, so let's start with the cards we feel could make the cut. Definitely Preacher, Demonic Council, Sorin, Bloodletter, double damage. Rankle is some removal. Virtual Persistence is removal. Arden is top end. We're going to think about Rise of the Dark Realms. 9 mana is a lot to cast, and usually we don't have enough removal to really support it, especially not in a 40 card deck. We'll think about Gissa. We'll think about Meathook Massacre as well. Kaito. Well, the Fugitive actually might allow us to cast the Rise of the Dark Realms. What does that need? It needs Assassins. Currently just the one. Only one we have available to draft from as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as we build our deck. Then if we're splashing blue, not going to have a lot of turtles to activate that. Keep the Virtue maybe as a splash card. So we have a lot of legendary creatures here. Good number. Could not, could be card advantage. Problem is we have a lot of playable cards that don't really have a ton of support to go with them in their color. I would love to put Hauntwood Shrieker in to try and cheat some of our large creatures, but with only 5 green cards here, it's really hard to splash, especially for cards that cost double green, meaning our mana base would need to support it as well. I think we probably will go red though. An early game threat. We'll see what kind of equipments we have in a second. Bit of a board wipe. Early game creature. We'll think about it. Potentially going to make the cut as well. Might try Buster Sword. Alright, so let's look at what we got and try and narrow down the deck into something more cohesive. Based on this, I think the white probably has to get cut. Can't be supported in the deck. Blue probably also has to go. Although I do really want to keep Kaito, the fugitive, as well. Don't think we had any dual lands outside of the Verge. Not very helpful. I don't think we want Midgar or Jidor. So this is looking like it's going to be our deck. I'm not a fan of the 3 colors. Really would have liked to get this down to 2. See if there's any other creatures that could slot into some of these high mana value slots. Again, Darkstar with all these high mana values I don't want. The Siege, we don't really have many artifacts to tutor away outside of the Buster Sword. I think Rise of the Dark Realms is too expensive. Krenko is okay. It's really just a 3/3 body with haste. 3 toughness, not particularly strong. Triad, could provide card advantage. Maybe we do play the Triad. Try and get rid of the blue cards. Although again, really would like to play Kaito. Based on that, I think we do need to bring in some more red cards or black cards, and there aren't many choices. So we'll round out our deck here. This gets us 40 cards. I clicked too many. Meat Hook was in here. $15 lands. And what's our early game look like? More red than black. Just make sure I didn't accidentally click out of one of the other cards here. The other thing we look at is Draco Genesis. I have a couple dragons here that it could cast. Guild Pack would be powerful, completely uncastable on the front side. So you'd have to pay 8 mana for Dracogenesis, and then you'd also have to have the Guild Pack in your hand. So just don't think it makes the cut. We'll try this. Would have loved to have drawn some more interaction. Before we jump into the gameplay, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe the video. It really helps the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into the games. This hand is okay. Looking to get up to 6 mana for the Triad. We draw some removal, so that's good. Sarkhan. They didn't have any dragons to create a treasure, so we'll just ignore that. The ramp, though, we will take out. Then we'll offer up the trade. Opponent takes it. They're also on a 3-color deck. They have Excalibur. Needs life gain, I believe. We don't have triple black. Could tutor up a demon card. I think we'll just hold out for now. Opponent hitting their land drops. We would like to do the same. Third black land is great. Now we need one more mountain for our triple triad. Right, that actually does not have flying. We could make them discard their hand here. Can we cancel this? We cannot. Unfortunate. So I was going to select the life loss as well. What did they get rid of? Board wipe. And a lifelink creature. So glad to get rid of the lifelink. At the moment we are racing our opponent. This is a May ability. So we can play this out and not sacrifice anything. Now our opponent probably has to hold back the Boko. Unless they drew something big to block with. Two, that won't do it. So I think that attack was a mistake. We'll hit in. We can either play out the Clive or the triple triad. Playing Clive is probably the right answer, but I kind of want to play the triad out. And our opponent concedes. They were likely to die next turn anyway. Good game. This hand is okay. We have some removal if needed. A couple early creatures. We'll start on black. Swamp from our opponent as well. We'll get out the Bull of Alamago. A Virtue from our opponent. Great minds think alike. And the Swamp off the top is great. That will let us play the Bloodletter on curve. Also RAKDOS from our opponent. Opponent takes 6. They're on a 2-turn clock right now. They have a blocker on the ground. Well, unfortunate for you, my friend. We have that covered. They just take it. So here we could either play out the Virtue, take out their token. I think we'll just get Kuja down of our own. And they don't have an answer for the Bloodletter, so we were likely to kill them in the air there. Good game. This hand is just okay. Bunch of our mid-range cards, so we need to draw into some of our top end, as well as the mana to play them. Dual land from our opponent. We'll play out the mountain. If we top deck another mountain, we might want to play out the Phoenix. So that leaves our options open. I think we'll start off with the Hell Squad. Start pushing damage immediately. No play from our opponent yet. I don't think we're going to play around flash creatures. So we'll hit in with all of our tokens, and then we'll play Sephiroth out, and we'll sacrifice one of them. Swamp is good. Although we do need more red mana. Otherwise, we can only still play one card per turn. We can deal one more damage to our opponent as well. We'll have max speed. Looks like we'll at least be able to get in. Three, two. Probably crew one so they could take out Sephiroth if they want. Then they won't be able to take out both of our goblins either. It's for each goblin we control, so if they block Sephiroth, then we can add 3 red mana. That'll be 8 mana total. We can play Clive and Ruban. So I think we do offer the trade. We will not sacrifice anything. Alright, so they just take the block here. We go up to max speed. Then what do we want to play out here? 7 mana, so we can either play out Clive by himself. We could play out the Fire Crystal and a 3-drop. I think that's actually our call here. Then which one do we pick? Freon. So we have quite a bit of pressure on our opponent. We top deck another mountain. We could probably play out most of our hand, if not all of it. Clive will be a refuel. Currently he would draw 6 cards if nothing gets removed. Even more if we play out one of the other cards first. It's all dependent on how much mana we have. Don't know this one. That's actually a good effect. Draw cards equal its power. Although this attack is objectively a mistake, they're in no position to be the aggressor here. No land. We can play out one of these. Seven mana available. Can't do the bird and the Clive. So I think we'll do Raban and Clive. And we will discard our hand here. Draw into the mountain. We can even weaken our opponent's creature. They'll crew the ship with it, but we have lethal on the attack. Now they can't crew. And that's lethal. Good game. Okay, so there you have the deck. Some of the cards that performed particularly well in the matches were definitely the Bloodletter. A flying evasive threat allowed us to deal a lot of damage, and then its passive ability of doubling life loss really came through in a couple of the games. There were quite a few cards that we did not get to play, notably Arden and Triple Triad, as well as the Virtue of Persistence, all being phenomenal late game closers. I think cutting the blue cards from the deck down to a dual color deck was the right call. Even with 2 colors, we found ourselves struggling to cast a lot of these cards, as they require 2 or 3 or even more mana pips of red and black. So being able to support a 3rd color would probably be very trying on our basic land mana base. If I had to rebuild the deck, I definitely would remove Meat Hook Massacre 2 from it. I don't think that card is castable in this format. However, we didn't really have anything good to slot into its spot either. That's part of the difficulty with building a sealed deck. I was a little bit surprised about how the matches went. I did think we would lose some. However, going 3-0 showed that apparently we built the deck well enough. The last game, our opponent really seemed to stumble over themselves, but the other 2, the opponent was playing out their cards, and we were just able to outperform them. Notably, we never got the Buster Sword either. We do have a couple cards in our deck that synergize with equipments, so it would have been nice to see that interaction. Overall, I can't complain. The deck did what it was supposed to do, and we'll see what challenge Magic brings us next week for Midweek Magic. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content.